Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Makeover Monday 2021, week 24, in which we're looking at the schools that create the most student loan debts in America. So to start off, let's go ahead and look at the original visualization. So I'm going to actually go to the website and have a quick look at it. Okay, and hopefully this comes up at some point. Okay, there we go. So what this is looking at, so first off, starts off talking about kind of what the Biden administration is trying to do as far as forgiving some student loan debt, which would be wonderful. But this visualization, it's a bit confusing to me. So it has, every state kind of has it looks like it has a little label. So if we look at California, for example, you can see it says CA for the abbreviation and 243 million. And then it has a school there, and I'm assuming, it doesn't say, but I'm assuming that that is the school with the highest amount of debt. Now, the total loans originated, so that the universities are colored by the states are colored by the total number of loans originated, and which is fine. But the problem is that you don't get because for California is a bigger state, it's going to have more loans. Then of course it's going to have a higher loan amount. But I find it very confusing because in, let's say, Texas, for example, or no, let's look at a different example, maybe New York. So New York has public schools, it has private schools, but it looks like it's only colored by the one school. So the color of the state, I think, is colored by the type of school that has the highest loan amount, but it's impossible to tell. So it's really quite a poor visualization. The colors are very, very confusing. Yeah, so I think that's about it. And by the way, if somebody could leave a comment in the chat that you can hear me okay, that would be great. So I think that's about it for the original visualization. The data set itself is pretty straightforward. I was able to find additional data that I supplied. So OPEID, that's just like a number they use to identify the school. Then we have the school name, and then the city it's in, the state, and the zip code. And then the type of school, whether it's public, private, non-public, and I think we can, here we go, we'll go to aliases, we could see foreign for private, foreign private, foreign public, etc. So lots of different kinds of schools. The types of loans, so let's see. So we're looking at different kinds of loans. Okay, we do have a total here, so that's important to factor in as well. So the subsidized loans are, you do not accrue interest on those until you graduate, or I think a year after you graduate. And the unsubsidized loans, so you want to always be very careful taking those out because those actually start accruing interest the day that you start school. So I would be very careful with those kinds of loans. And then we have a couple of columns here. The number of people, the number of loans, the loan amount, and then the disbursement, the number of disbursements, and the dollars of disbursement. So this must be so this is the loans originated, the value of the loans originated, and then this must be the number of loans. Okay, so I'm assuming that number of, let's see, actually I probably should go into because there's a summary page in the Excel spreadsheet. Oops, wrong place there. So data 2021. Okay, because I want to make sure that I understand what those columns mean. I'm going to make the assumption that the number of disbursements is so. In other words, there were 7,622 loans originated. They were all dispersed, but only about 50% of it was only 50% of the value was dispersed. So let's see if we can see what's going on here. I don't know why this is taking so long to open. Okay, there we go. So there's a definitions page here. So, right, so let's see here. So the number of loans originated, let's see. So total loans, number of loans initiated for the loan type during the award year, okay. The dollar amount of those, the number of disbursements made, the dollar amount of disbursements made for the loan type during the, okay. So I think we're probably going to want to look at the loans that have been dispersed, because that's the actual money that's been given, not the, let's see. So the loans originated and dispersed. The dollar amount of disbursements made. Okay. Let's see. Disbursements are included in the columns of. Okay, let me see if I can word wrap this somehow. Wrap text. Oh, that didn't do me much good. Okay, there we go. So let me make this column a bit wider so I can read it. So disbursements are included if the loan was included in the dates of the disbursements are less than or equal to the last day. Okay, for fourth. Okay. So for fourth quarter reports, it is the cumulative number of disbursements as the date. Disbursements are, okay, disbursements are included in the columns if the loan was included in the loan origination counts. Okay, yeah, so we want to use the, disbursement numbers, I believe. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we don't want to save that. So I think we want to stick with the disbursements. So I'm going to actually hide these two columns then just to make sure I don't use them by accident. And what I want to do is I want to calculate the value per disbursement. So I'm going to create a new calculated field, and I'm going to call this dollars per disbursement. And this is going to be the sum of that. And the reason I'm doing a sum here is because if I look at an aggregation of the schools, like let's say I look at all of the schools in Alabama, I want to make sure that I get just I get the correct number back. And this would be divided by the sum of the number of disbursements. Okay, and let's see what that comes up with. So 2,200. So that looks good. Okay. And then we could maybe look at the disbursements per person. Okay. So let's create a new calculated field. So dollar disbursed per person. So this would be the sum of that divided by the sum of, what's it called, recipients per, I should call this probably recipient. Recipient. Okay, it's probably going to be pretty similar, yeah, because the recipients and number of disbursements is pretty similar. And then I think maybe I should filter out anywhere we don't have any values dispersed. So I'm going to add a filter. Add a filter on, and I want to do non-nulls. Okay, that should make that row disappear. Oh, it did not. Okay, so let's edit that again. Let's see, range of values at least, let's say at least one. Let's see what happens there. Okay, there we go. So that means at least $1 has been dispersed. Okay, so I think we are good to go. And I'm going to go ahead and create my extract now. And I'm going to extract that data. Okay, so Madara, the original chart says the originated amount. Okay, so maybe I need to go back and change this then. Originate. Okay, thank you. So I probably should change all of this to originated then. So I'm going to show my hidden fields, and then I'll show you a little trick here. So I'm going to unhide those, and everywhere that I have number dispersed, I'm going to replace that with number originated. Okay, and then I should be able to hide that. And then my, let's see, so that's my loans originated dollar. Let me see here, I need to, oops, no, don't want to do that. So number of disbursements, so I'm going to show it, okay. So we've got dollars percent of, okay, yeah, so I want to replace this with loans originated. Okay, and then I can hide that. Okay, interesting. So why did that not? So this, oh, this, yeah, so this should be originated. Thank you for catching that, Madara. And then how about just dollars per loan? Maybe just do that. Okay. And I'll just call this stupid. Okay, so why can I not hide it? I think I know why. Edit data source filters. I need to remove that. And then I can hide it. And if I go back to my data source, oh, wrong one. If I go back to my edit data source, I'm going to see that null one here again. So number of loans originated. Okay, so this needs to be bigger than 0. So I need to add in a different filter. At least one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we've got dollars per loan, dollars per recipient. So if I look at it by, I think first off I want to look at my loan type. I'm just going to start it with total for now. And if I look at it by state, okay, so 55 unknown. So I need to edit my locations and make my country USA. And hit OK. Okay, so my, let's see, Hawaii, Guam. Okay, so it's got Virgin. Okay, it has some schools outside of the so it's got Guam. Yeah, it's got a couple other ones here. So let's look at, yeah, we can probably leave that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, I want to create a hex map just so I can, well, maybe not yet. Let's look at loans originated. Let's just put that on size. And you see we get, yeah, that's not particularly surprising. You have more loans in the bigger states. That's fine. Let's see, dollars per loan. Okay, so now it evens out a lot more. Okay, and then if we do dollars per loan, dollars per recipient, it's probably going to be very similar. Yeah, that doesn't change much. Okay, number of recipients is going to follow pretty well with the number of loans. Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and save now because if you've watched the last couple of weeks, Tableau has crashed on me in the middle of on the middle of this session. So Makeover Monday 2021. week 24, student loan debt in America. Good enough. All right, so now I'm going to bring in a spatial file because I want to create a hex map, and it's definitely easier with a spatial file. So I'm going to edit my data source, and I'm going to add a new data source and spatial file. And these are available on Joshua Milligan's website. So data school, let's see, it's probably just under my data sources. Let's see, sorry, I need to find it. Come on. Okay. No, that's not it. I don't think that's it. Let's try it anyway. And then I'm going to make this a join instead. Okay, and I want to look at the state versus the, oh, is it state name or state? I think it's state, no, it's state abbreviation. So that's going to come up with nothing, state abbreviation. Okay, there we go. And this will, because I did this as an inner join, that means Guam and the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico will drop out because those aren't included in the shapefile. So we can keep the state name. I'm going to get rid of these fields. And I think I'm using the right, so that's state abbreviation, so we can hide that. Okay, so let's see if this is the right file. So geometry. Okay, that is not the right file. So let's edit this data source. That's not what I was hoping for. So I brought in the wrong file. So let's remove. And let's remove. And I need to add it again. So spatial file must be somewhere else on my computer. So okay, come on. Yeah, so that's not the right. Shoot. I know I have it somewhere. Maybe it's under my drive. Sorry, I should be a bit more prepared. Okay. Oh, come on. Next states, there we go. Okay, yeah, it's this one. Okay, so this should join by, let's look at, I think this has state abbreviation and that be state, so that should be good. Now, one of the things I liked about that other file that we just had in there, so I can get rid of this, hide, and I'm going to rename this one as state name, is that it had regional information in it as well, so I'm actually going to bring that back in, spatial file, and it was US states, state shape, and let's do state abbreviation to, oh come on, to state abbreviation. That should work. Okay, so close that. And what I'm going to do for this data source now is I don't need the state name, I don't need the fee, I don't need those, so I'm going to hide those. And I'm going to hide these two as well. Okay. It's interesting, I don't have... Okay, maybe I don't need that. I'm curious to see what this subregion field means. That's why I grabbed that. Okay, so let's go here. And there we go. So now we have our hex shapes. And I'm going to put this subregion on color just to see what it does. Okay. All right, so this gives me some different regions. So I probably could create maybe some bigger regions from that. So Pacific and Mountain, West, North, Central. Okay, so this is Central, 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 Central. Okay, so I'm going to group together the centrals. I'm going to call those, so let's rename and call that Central. And I'm going to rename this calculation as region. Okay, and then I'm going to call the Pacific and the Mountain. I'm going to group those together and edit the alias. I'm going to call that the West. Oops, reset the map. And then the South Atlantic, that should just be, I'm just going to rename that. That's the South. And then the Middle Atlantic and New England, group that together. And I'm going to call that the Northeast. Okay. Could you please share the link? Yes, Manzi, I'll share it in the description after the video. So I'm going to call it Southeast. Oh crap. The reason I'm doing this is I'm thinking of maybe using it as a filter later. And then the Central region, I wonder if that's too much. So let's edit the group. I'm just going to ungroup my Central region. Okay, so this is East-South. So let's call this I think I'm going to make this one the North-Central and make these two the South-Central. And then oops, I think I hit exclude. West, there we go. Group, there we go. Okay, so this one, we can rename that as, what do we want to call that? I guess just South Central. How about Central South? And then we'll call this, oops, edit alias, Central North. Okay, so that's good. So, and then what I would do from here is I'm going to format this, and actually I'm going to format the workbook. And I think I can get rid of my 0 lines. I'm just going to set some of this stuff automatically. Let's get rid of my grid lines. I don't know if I'm going to need these or not. Axis rulers, let's turn those off. Okay, right. And then I want to format this view and get rid of my row and column dividers. And then the background, so map, layers, and I'm going to just wash that out. Okay, so now we've got a nice clean map. And I could put maybe the state name, so the state, onto the label. Okay, and then if I put the amount per student on the label as well, then we get something like that. Okay, so I'm going to format both of these. Default properties, number format. Right. All right, so I don't need this region field anymore, but my thinking was I could put it on here as a filter, and let's say we want to choose the West, and then it'll just zoom in on those states in the West. Well, I'm not convinced that I like that, but it's kind of the idea I have in my head. I'm going to rename this as Subregion. And I'm going to make this a hierarchy. So this would be locations. And then I'm going to put state in there, and I'm going to put zip code in there, and I'll put city in there. Okay, so there's our nice little hierarchy. Okay, so, and then subregion could geographic role create from state name. So if I now double click on region, I should get a region map of the US. Okay, so let me make it a map just so we can see it. And let me add that to color. And then if I drill down into that, I should get subregions. Yep, so that worked. And then drill down again, and we get states. Okay, good, that works, nice. Okay, so let's see. So we could look at the loan types, and I'm going to exclude the total for now and look at the total value of loans originated. And we get something like that. Subsidized, parent plus, grad plus. Okay. Okay, what I'm trying to see, subsidized loan. The interest on the plus loan is not subsidized while the student is in school, unlike the subsidized. Okay, yeah, so these are, so the plus loan, how about grad plus? Okay, borrowed, I'm sorry. Okay, so these four are, I'm going to group those together, and these are unsubsidized loans. Unsubsidized, okay. And then let's rename that as, okay, so this would be my, to me it makes more sense to look at subsidized versus unsubsidized. Okay, so let's see, what can we do here? So if I make this, put these on label, and that's the, wow, holy crap, that is a lot of money. And let's put loan type on, no, wrong loan type on text. So then if I hide this, and let me see here, so isn't it really annoying? So Tableau puts loan type first when you go to edit the label, but it's second when you put it in the shelf. That is like so stupidly annoying. Your central and north could be Midwest. Can you use a Sanki diagram with a map? I don't know why you'd want to. So I think that's probably a very bad idea. So 28, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so then that's 1, 2, 3, that's billions. Okay, so let me format, and I'm going to put this as a number custom in billions. Okay. And then custom, I wonder, yeah, that's fine. Just do that. Okay. I'm just thinking of doing these as big numbers. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not, but okay, so let me go back to my map then. So Forest, you were saying your central north could be Midwest. Central north could be Midwest. Oh, just to rename it. Okay. Okay, so let me rename that. That's a good idea. Thank you. And then this one is now called Central South. So I could probably just call that one South then. I'll just go with that. That's good enough. Okay. Thank you for that, Forrest. Good idea. But I do like having the Northeast and the Southeast split up. Right. So that's what we have for our kind of big numbers. So this is our ban loan amount. And then I could duplicate that. And number of loans. Okay, so let's see, format. Let's put it as a number. Yeah, so 2.6 million loans. And then let's duplicate that again. And let's look at per recipient. Probably I could call it student. No, probably recipient is better because some of them are parent loans. Recipient. Okay, and let me go ahead and format this while I'm here. So borders, get rid of my row dividers, and then okay, so we've got 3 sets of bands. And then I could maybe look at so we've done loan types. I wonder what this looks like by region. So let's go here and let's put region here just to see what it looks like. So nothing too crazy different. Okay, so that doesn't tell me a whole lot. If I look at it by state, oh yeah, then the billions is not going to be very good. Okay, so I think that's fine like that. And I need to format this again and put that in dollars. And I'm going to actually put a space in here. No. I wonder what it looks like with a small b. No, that doesn't look good. Okay, that's fine. And then this one needs to be the number of loans and the amount participated. Okay, so let's see. So let's subsidized, unsubsidized, loan type. Let's maybe put the it's annoying. Why can I not? God, it's so stupid. I always want the total to be last, so I'm going to actually just manually sort these to be subsidized, unsubsidized, and then total. Okay, so I can then clear that sheet. And then if I go back here, I can see there's been over $1 trillion in, how does that add up, right? Because 10 plus 40 is 52. That can't be right. How is that right? So that comes up with 53 billion, but the total is 1 point. I wonder if I'm duplicating data somewhere. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that yet, but I am going to take the total out. Okay, and then that needs to apply across the views. Okay, very good. Okay, so we could then maybe look at the school and the amount. No, let's look at amount per recipient. And if we sort that, the problem now is we could have multiple schools with the same name. So I'm going to put the OPE ID here. And then I want to sort this by descending by the field dollars per recipient. Okay, so I'm doing that just in case the two universities have the same name, and then I'll just uncheck show header there. And now I need to clean up the view. So I need to just reduce my row dividers. And let's get rid of our column dividers. We can probably get rid of our row dividers as well. Okay, so that gives us our school. And then maybe we look at, let's filter this to be maybe the, I don't know, let's just look at the top 10 for now. Okay. And then OP ID we don't need in the tooltip. Oh, some of these names are really long. Oh, they're all medical schools. It looks like it. Airline Academy. Okay. That may or may not be useful. Okay, so this is our top 10 schools by recipient average. All right, and we could look at the states, dollars per recipient. This is the same thing our map is going to tell us, so we should see, where are we here? DC is 14,000, okay. But let's put, so we've got school type, we've got loan type, we've got school, state name, so we don't need that necessarily. Okay. Right. And I've got, okay, I don't think that's giving me a whole lot. So what if I did zip code? Okay, and then I could do amount per recipient on size. They're probably all going to be pretty similar. Okay, so I'm going to, for now, filter out Alaska and Hawaii, just so I can see a bit better. Okay. Yeah, so again, this doesn't really help me a whole lot. Okay, but if I look at it one state at a time, it might. So for example, if I look at maybe just California, so let's say none, in California, we could look at something like that. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the state name. Which one is it? I think it's which field has the state name has the name. Oh, come on, shoot. So I'm going to put state name onto the layers, and I'm going to move that to the back. And then I'm going to make this a filled map. And then let's make this a circle. And let's see, so how do I can't remember which way move down, rename. Okay, so the state name, I'm going to just set this as just like some kind of, oops, no, I didn't want to do that. But I don't want it on color. I'm just going to put it on a detail. And then the color I'm going to maybe make like a light gray. The only reason I'm doing this is because I'm now going to get rid of the map background, so map layers. And I'm going to wash that out. So now I see just the state. And I can format the view to get rid of my row and column dividers. Okay, so let's hide that. Right. Okay, so on here we have dollars per recipient. If I just do the total dollars originated, we can see here what's that school. Okay, so I need to put school onto detail. Okay, and now I've got UC Davis. Yeah, okay. So let's put it back to dollar per recipient. I think I'm probably going to end up just using dollar per recipient everywhere. And I wonder if I put that on color as well. Yeah, that doesn't help. All right, I'm going to have to figure something out with that. So, but let me go ahead and hide that card. Okay, so this would be my state zip layered. All right, so, and then we have our schools, our amount, so those could go across the view. We have that. How do I want to do this? So if I color code by the amount per recipient, now I need to move region to detail and color code the amount per recipient. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to let's put some borders on that. Okay, I like the white borders a bit better. Okay, I'm going to try something here. I'm going to duplicate that. And then on this one, I'm going to make it a shape. And the shape I want it to be is a hexagon. Let's see, so where do I have these? I don't think it's this one, nope. Probably just icons. Oh yeah, there we go. So I'm going to make it these. Okay, and then I don't know if this is going to work or not, but let me take the, let me just put that on detail, and I'm going to move that to detail. Okay, so now if I make this a dual axis, and then on my shape, if I can make these bigger, let's put the label in the middle. Okay, and then what I'm thinking on this one, would it be useful to put the region on the color? Probably not. I was just wondering if that might help show the regions a bit better. So let me pick a different color palette maybe. Let's try, I need something that has lots of discrete colors. Okay, we don't want to do that. Okay, but then the blues are too close, so we don't want that. Okay, so we could do maybe red, orange, black. I don't want to do blues because those are going to match the colors too closely. And then maybe a green. Maybe I'll do 2 different shades of green. I don't know. This probably isn't going to turn out anyway. I'm probably wasting a lot of time here. But my thinking was, does it look any good to have the, maybe you can tell me, does it help? Does it help to have the color of the region behind the hexagon? So I would probably put, so dollar per recipient. Maybe I need to change those colors to be something else. What if I make them like white to black? Let me try that. And let's start it at 0. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. Let's just do the, we don't want to do the grays. Let's try greens. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so that's not really telling me anything either. Okay. That seems like a bit of a fail. Okay, the green doesn't work. So I need to, oh, actually I've got red and green here, so that's probably a terrible idea as well. I need to find some colors here. Let's do a bright blue. Okay, let's do a bright blue. Let's do a purple. Let's do a yellow. And maybe I'll just use Tableau 20. Okay, let's see what we got here. So let's do that. Let's maybe choose orange and maybe purple. Nope. Jewel bright. So let's do maybe purple and maybe yellow. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we can see the colors around the regions a bit better. But now I need to decide what I want to do with the color on the inside. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so what is the color of money? So the color of money is green. So let's call it US dollar color. Greenbacks. What is the color of the US $100 bill? Our bill's different colors. Okay, US colors. Okay, let's see what this is. Aha! Maybe we're onto something here. So let me copy that. And let's make that, actually maybe we'll make the darker green here. Oops. Okay, oops, let's reset the map. Okay, then the text needs to, the DC one's really hard to see. Okay, we can play around with that later. Maybe this needs to be maybe 10. Make this one 8. Yeah, I don't know what I can do about that. Okay, I think maybe I need to use a slightly lighter color of green. Okay, but now there's not enough contrast between them. Oh, this is annoying. Okay. All right, let me try one more thing. Let me try a custom diverging. And the bottom I'm going to use as maybe this color. And then the top I'm going to use maybe as this color. Let's see, let's try this one again. It's not really a diverging color palette, but we'll try anyway. Yeah, that doesn't work. This is probably the best one. Can you set the text color to automatic? Yeah, so the text color is already automatic. I'm not sure why it wouldn't make this one white. That's what's has me a bit. So what Tableau should be doing is it should be changing the text of that of DC to white, but it's not. But if I change it to match mark color, that does nothing. Okay, so interesting. So it's because I think it's because my hex shape is black. So if I take this off color, all of the shapes are black. So it's, well, still though, that should make them all white. But if I make the font white for everything, then I can't see it in some of the states. But if you make it white, you can see the outlines of the regions a bit better. Okay, we'll come back to that. So this is our hex map. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. So we've got, okay, we can delete that sheet. We have a hex map, and we have our bands. We have our top 10 schools, and then we have our layered map. So here's what I'm thinking. So let me start Excalidraw. And so what I'm going to do is, let's make this ban. So this would be my 3 bands going across. And then we're going to have our hex map. We're going to have our state shape. So this would be like the individual state. And then maybe we have the top 10. So this would be my top 10. Okay, so let me see if I can grab some things to throw in here. So I've got I just want to sort of think through my head if this is going to work. Okay, what happened here? Uh-oh. I think I broke something. Okay, let's try this again. Well, I don't know what's happening here. Okay, so let me just start building it. And then maybe the state name, I wonder if I can color that by the region. If that gives me, so that outlines the region, but it doesn't give me an outline. Okay, that's fine. We'll leave it like that for now. Okay, so let me just start building something. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to give it a try. I think I have enough to get me started. So I'm going to bring in a vertical container, and I'll start it as 800 by 600 or 1000 by 800 for now. So okay, and then I'm just going to drop a title in here. And then maybe I'll stick a blank. Okay, something like that. And then I'm going to put my bands across the top. So I'm just going to drag a blank in here just as a placeholder. And let me just, I'm going to shade that just so that I know it's my blank. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a horizontal container here. And this is going to have my bands. So 1, 2, 3. And let's make these all okay. And then okay, so this would be my total loans, total loaned. Maybe I don't need the loans per person. Let me get rid of that. And let's call this loan. Okay, and I'm going to drop in a blank here. And I'm going to make that maybe a, let's put in maybe a gray background. And then outer padding. Okay, and then another, no wait, that's not going to do me any good. Okay, I think I'm going to bring that third one back in. And then let's put another blank here. Which color did I use? Third one down. Oops. And this one should be total, this would be number of loans. And maybe I'll just call this amount loaned. Amount per recipient. That sounds a bit weird. Amount loaned, number of loans. Maybe just average amount. Average loan. Okay. So then I want to, so what's my total width here? So the total width of this is 960. Okay, so I've got 960 minus 32 minus 32. So that's that part, 896 divided by 3. So 299. So each of these should be about 299. Okay, so okay, that should be pretty close. Entire view, and then entire view, and then edit height. Let's make this 120. 30. Okay, yeah, something like that. Okay, so I think that's better. If you have any feedback along the way, I'm all ears. So let's make this maybe 12. Maybe what I could do, format workbook, sheet, worksheets, worksheet titles. Let's make these 12. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I think that's okay. And then what I'm thinking for this section is if I bring in another, let's see, I want to do a horizontal container here. Let's move that in and put my hex map there. Okay, I can fix the hexagons later. And then on the right side, I want to do a, let's see, how do I want to do this? I want to bring in a, like that, and then I'm going to bring in my top 10 schools. Okay, so let's kill that. And then I need to go to here. Okay. Okay. And then this sheet, so where's our loan amount? Hex map. Let's copy that. And I want to use that for, come on, go away. And then these, I want to use that here. So let's see here. Okay, so something like that. Okay, so since you spell everything out in the bands, oh, yeah, so I should use the number of loans. Thank you. Really like the feedback along the way, it's super helpful. So what I'm thinking here is when I click on a hex, I can get it to show the state and then the top 10 schools, but the top 10 schools looks pretty terrible. So I'm not quite sure how I would do that. So if I get rid of that, let me get rid of that container. Okay, so what I can do is, so let's go state zip layered. What I want to do is I want to hide the title, and then so now I need to play around with the hex size because this hexagon is too big. So let me go back here. Okay, so the overall, I think the whole dashboard needs to be a bit wider. Let's see, we want to do, okay, good enough for now. And then this, if I make the whole dashboard wider, okay, now I can make this a bit wider. Right, and then okay, something like that. So that separates those two sections. All right, and then I want to map options. Okay, there we go. So now if I go back to my hex map, you just have to kind of go back and forth until it looks about right, which is a real pain. XMap, let's see, size. That's going to be too big. Okay. But now my hex map doesn't have enough room because my text is overlapping. Okay, so let me change the text to be, so 8 is fine for that. Let me make this 9 and see what happens. Okay, that's a bit better, but still not great. So let's make this dashboard even wider. Okay, well, that looks like that did that okay. All right, and then maybe we could add some, like I wonder if, yeah, the problem is if I start doing filtering here, then the regions are going to, like I was thinking of maybe adding some filters for the regions. Okay, but my idea is to, let's get rid of that. I know it's going to show the whole US, but what I want to do here is I want to add a dashboard action, filter action, and I want it to start from the hex map, go to everything else, on select, single value only, and I want it to filter by just the state. So if I click on Alaska, that just filters into Alaska. Everything else goes away up there. Yeah, the problem now is the numbers look wonky and I can't see my font. Shoot. Okay, so maybe the region isn't, I think I need to revisit my hex map because the region isn't really being very useful. So I'm going to duplicate it just in case I want to use it again later. And I'm going to kill this layer. Come on. Why is it not letting me do that? Oh, I need to remove it here. It's not a layer. And then I'm going to put, I'll just leave region on detail and let me put that on color. And then my label was what? State and also the amount per recipient. Okay. God, it's so annoying. Okay, maybe that's better. Oh shoot, I changed the wrong sheet. Idiot. No, it's okay. We'll just put that one in here instead. Okay, so my font needs to be ever so slightly smaller. Okay, I think that's better. Hello. Hi, Vignesh. Thanks for saying hello. So my amount per recipient, so that's now in the background, so let's remove that. And what I want this filter to do is when I click on it, oh, now my filter is broken. So dashboard actions, and what I want to do, so I think I need to do this a bit differently. So what I want it to do, okay, because what I want to happen is I want this state to stick when I, so okay, so I think I need to create a parameter. So create parameter state, and let's make it a string. And for now, I'm just going to make it Alaska. Oh no, I want to do that list. Okay, and let's show that. Okay, so it starts with Alaska. All right, so now this map, this here, I want to okay. So I'm going to say state equals the parameter. And then I'm going to put that here instead and choose true. Okay, so now that's going to give me just Alaska. Good. So, and then this map, I'm going to, on this layer, can make it a lighter shade of gray maybe. Oh, I better save in case tablet crashes again. So what I want to do now is I'm going to set this up as a parameter action. Dashboard actions. Add a change parameter action. So update state parameter. It's only going to go from the hex map. The parameter is going to update as that. The field is state, and we're going to keep the current value. Okay, so what that means is I click on Michigan. It then highlights Michigan. Click on New York. Goes to New York. Okay, and it just sticks there. Connecticut. Okay, so now how useful that is, I'm not quite sure. This just helps us see the individual schools. Not really sure how useful that is. Where is my... Where's this thing? I've got my... Where the heck is that color legend? Oops. Okay. Oh, I messed something up there. So, vertical. Delete. Okay, there we go. Okay. Right. So I don't necessarily think this is very useful. So maybe I will get rid of that. And then I'm going to make the whole thing now a bit more narrow. And then maybe what I could do is I could put maybe a filters section in here. So let's see, what's going to be the easiest way for me to do this? So I'm going to put maybe a filter section in here. I'm going to drop a blank in there as a placeholder. And then that's going to be left to right. And then I need to have a vertical in there with another blank. Okay. So this is going to go into that vertical. And then this is also going to go into that vertical. Now I can kill that. Okay, so this is going to be my filters section. So I'm going to put a container in here and move my, let me drag a text box in here. I'm going to call this filters. Okay, and then I can get rid of that. Okay, and then let's edit the width of this. Let's maybe make it 100. Edit width 150. Okay, something like that. So edit height. Let's make this maybe 50. And I'm going to stick a little line in here. Where's my blank objects? Dashboard, blank. You'll see what I'm going to do here in a second. So edit height, 10, and I'm going to make this a black line, and then I'm going to add some padding on the top and the bottom. So maybe 10, 10. Okay. And then let's put a border in here as well. So let's put a blank in here. Edit width, 10. And then same process here. So background is the black, and then the padding. I want to do 0 at the top because I want it to touch the top. 0 at the right, and then maybe 15 at the left. And then my filters. Oh, it doesn't. I didn't really need to do that. Let's make that. Let's maybe make it 10. 10. Okay. And then this one needs to be 0 at the bottom. Okay, so that touches. And then this container, I'm going to set the outer padding to maybe 10 at the top. And let's do 10 at the bottom. Okay, something like that. And this I probably should make the same color. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in a filter. So filters region, and did not drop it in that, which is really annoying. That blank. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. That's fine. Okay, so let me grab this one, and I'm going to move that in there. Okay, so what should happen now, I'm just going to make this a drop down. Multi-select drop down. And center that. Maybe make it maybe 10. Okay, and then yeah, let's leave it like that. And then I want to put in some padding on the left and right. That's okay, I can do that at the end. Because all of these, what's my padding left and right? That's fine. Okay. Okay, so we've got the region filter. So, and let's see. So let's filter by region. And that's the wrong sheet. So let's put region on the filters. Oh, that's okay. And I want to make that apply to everything. Let's put subregion in here. We don't need that. Well, we could. What the heck? Let's just make it look nice. So let's do all, actually. Okay, so subregion state. Okay, so now I could maybe put the subregion filter on. Let's make that apply to all using this data source. Come on. Okay. Oh, it should stick it in this other container. God, this is so annoying. What the heck? Where's my region? Oh, my region one isn't in there. Okay, there we go. And I want to make this only relevant values. Oh, 11. Okay, so region, subregion. Okay, so how does that work then? So let's try just putting the Midwest in there. Okay. And if we just try the Northeast. Okay, so now we don't have enough room for these loan amounts. Okay, so I need to, let's pick that. And then we want to, okay, so we fix the width of that. So let's make the whole dashboard slightly wider again. And then I'm going to fix the width of all three of these. Okay, so I think it was the Northeast. There we go. So now that fits. 2.1 billion. The West. You pick the West, that's good. And then I could pick maybe Mountain or Pacific. Okay. I don't think that's too terrible. What I could probably do, so if I just pick, let me just create a regular state map. Okay, and then what did oh yeah, I didn't need that dashboard, the parameter action, I don't think. Yeah, because I didn't use that. So if I do that, I'm just curious to see what this will look like if I make this maybe just New England. If I put this here. So what I'm wondering is, would it be useful? So let's map layers. And then what I could probably do here. So what I'm thinking is, should I have a map pop up here? So let me just drag this in and put it, oh no, so I need to bring in another container. So is it useful then to have these kind of side by side? So if I pick all, I know this isn't going to be right. I'll just show you what I mean in a second. So if I do the West. Okay. If I pick the West, then I could see, okay, so that doesn't work. Okay, so we need to forget that. Okay. All right, so let's pick all regions. And there we go. Okay, so maybe one other filter I could add then is the loan type. And no, I want to do my loan type filter. And let's do all. No, we don't want to. Okay, so let me edit my data source filters. Loan type, I want to exclude the total. Okay, and then I want to apply to all using this data source. No, selected sheets. I wanted to apply to let's do it that way. Let's do, and then school type. And let's do all using this data source. Okay, so I'm going to add these in as filters. Okay, so let's stick this as so filters, school type, and then filters, loan type. And let's make this a drop down. Let's make this a multi-value drop down. This could just be a regular drop down. Oh, no. This could be a single value drop down. There we go. So loan type. Okay, so this one needs to have 10 at the top and 10 at the bottom. This one needs to have 10 at the top and 10 at the bottom. And this one needs to have 10 at the top and 10 at the bottom. Oops. Okay. Oh, I think I did this 10, not 11. Okay, so now we have our series of, so I could pick maybe public schools. And there we go. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. Actually, one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a blank in here as a separator and edit the height. Let's make it 10. And let's set the background to black. And there we go. All right, and then let's set the margin for this one to the left to 0. And then this one, let's set the margin right to 0. Okay, that kind of lines those up nice and neat. I think I like it better like that. I don't know. Yeah, that's okay. It's good enough. Okay, so I need to stop there. I need to go, but I hope everybody enjoyed the session. All I'm going to do from here is give myself a better title and put in my data source at the bottom, and then that's probably it. So to do my data source, I'm just going to add the caption. And then, come on. 8, so data source is, where is it here? So the data source is common origination and disbursement system. Okay, so I'll stick that in there. Yeah, so here's my subsidized all. Okay. And I think this container is locked. So I think if I make this, let's edit the height of this, maybe make this 60. And now if I make the dashboard slightly taller, it should fill up the hex map. Yeah, there we go. So what's that look like now? Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. I appreciate you coming on to listen along. Again, only thing left to do is probably update my title, and then I think that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the session. Feel free to leave comments or suggestions. I'm always anxious to hear what you think.